and they like, do like a crazy like anime thing.
No, I've never heard of that, dude.
They do like the crazy flips and they'll like land on like a knee. I don't want to do the samurai stuff, but what I want,
Samurai
I want the ability to do like cool flips
Okay.
because what I'm after is like the freedom in your body. Like how free would you feel if you knew you could just flip off anything? You know what I'm saying? Or
Yeah,
like,
no, if I could parkour better.
yeah, it's kind of it's
That'd be
like parkour
crazy.
basically.
But yeah,
Straight up.
welcome to episode 28. Got my boy PJ slid through.
What
Appreciate you,
up?
bro. So hyped for you
Appreciate
to
it.
come through, man.
Yeah,
This is
man.
awesome. It's another, I feel like most days I record podcasts, it's a rainy day. So it's only right.
Yeah. Dude, yeah, we could have thrown some money on the table, bro.
Yeah.
Like, bro, where can we place a bet, make some
Yeah.
money? It's gonna be raining come podcast time.
Yeah, nah, for real. For real. But yeah, man. Honestly, I think I met you in high school basketball class, dude. I think Miss King's basketball class, if I'm not mistaken. It might have been Pizarski, but I'm not sure, dude. But I was like, this guy PJ is a nice dude, and he's pretty good at hooping.
Dude, that's hilarious, man. That's one thing I admire about you. You have a great memory. And when I look back on those days, I'm like, I know I played basketball or at least one physical education semester, but
yeah.
I couldn't even. What I remember, here's what I do remember, dude. I remember playing basketball with, I think it was Trey.
Yep, Trey Barrett, yeah.
Trey Barrett, and then Ryan Afifi.
Oh yeah, dude.
Were you in that class?
Yep.
All right, bet. So yeah, I do remember. Yeah, I kind of remember a little bit.
Yeah.
But Afifi every day would come out with headband,
yeah, shooting sleeve,
and then he would just proceed to say he got fouled about 19 times in the span of like 5 minutes.
Dude, I love me some Fief.
He's a good dude, man.
Yeah. I've been keeping up with him throughout the years. And yeah, we still go out and hoop. We hooped with some neighborhood kids up the road from here, like a month or so ago. It was really funny, dude. Just these young kids are like, yo, no cap, bruh, just like dropping all like the slang and stuff, and we're just balling on them, old man strength style. It's pretty awesome.
Dude, I saw a video on Instagram the other day, and it was like be more hoopers are different.
Yeah.
That was the caption, and then it was just like 30 seconds of like the beginning of it was the coach. He was like, "Can everybody dunk here?"
Yeah.
Or like he was like, "If you can dunk, raise your hand." And it was like 10 guys in there. They all raised their hand. And then the next part of the clip is all of them dunking. And all the different things they were saying, I was like, all right, wow.
They all could dunk?
They could all dunk.
Dang.
This one dude threw down a filthy, like, just like threw it back like crazy. And he was like, dude, he was up there. He was just flying. And then after he dunked it, another dude was like, shake that ass, boy. I was like, he said it like 3 times. I was like, man, dude, like, if anyone's saying that outside of Baltimore, you're not getting away with it. But maybe in Baltimore, dude, like, that's the thing now. Maybe you can say that, and it's like, something hype to say to your boys.
Yeah.
Shake that ass, like. I was like,
oh, it sounds a little sus.
Yeah, it was, dude. It was actually kind of tight though. The way he said it, like. Everyone was like, because the dude who said it, you knew he was like, no one's messing with him.
Yeah. No.
So if you can say something kind of sketch like that and get away with it, it's almost, it's even cooler, you know?
It's like you went left, but kept it straight.
Exactly.
Oh, man. Yeah, that's freaking awesome. But yeah, I remember also in high school, I think you're part of the Best Buddies program, right?
Yeah.
Dude, that was such a cool program for the school, man. All the kids with disabilities, it was basically just hanging out with them. Yeah, because I didn't officially do it. I think I helped out one night. But what was it like being part of that?
It was great. That's one of the things I look back on in my high school years where I was really like proud of myself that I did it.
Yeah.
Because I don't think I did a lot of things that I would be like, yeah, You know,
Oh yeah,
15
no,
years
for
later, I'm like,
sure.
dude, way to go, PJ. Wow, man, you
Yeah.
really knocked it out of the park with that.
Yeah.
But when I look at best buddies, I go, yeah, that was really cool because a lot of people were there were people that were involved in it, but it was
Mhm.
definitely a smaller club.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like you didn't have all like the really popular, super attractive people that would do it. It was kind of
Yeah.
like, like, so if you wanted to have, that circle, then this wasn't it.
Yeah.
You had to be like a kind of a more unique person to involve yourself in it. And I wasn't even really thinking about doing it, and I didn't even classify myself as like probably someone who was worthy to do it.
Oh, really?
I didn't think I'd be a good fit or like, that I was a good enough person to like really help out with it. But I just remember going to like some kind of, I think I went to like like an info meeting. I don't know what you call them.
Okay.
Yeah, some type of informational meeting.
Yeah.
And then I was like, man, these, these kids are awesome, dude.
Yeah.
Had a
Yeah.
couple
Yeah.
like had a couple kids with Downs in the
Mhm.
group, and you're
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
when you start hanging out with, every time I hear Shane Gillis, and he's one of the guys
Yeah.
that talks about his
Yeah.
comedy
Uh-huh.
around people who've seen Down syndrome kids before, been around it, and then those who
Yeah.
haven't, and how
Yeah.
they act.
Yeah.
And I can relate to that because when you're around Down syndrome kids growing up, you're like, these kids are the best.
Yeah. Super happy. Just having a good time. Just
Always, dude.
yeah. I think Francis did. He was so awesome,
Yeah,
dude. I
Francis.
loved Francis. He was like super strong too, and like athletic. Yeah, he was like good at swimming and wrestling and all these things. But yeah, yeah, because I don't think I did best buddies, but I aided for a class. It was like computer work for the kids with special needs, and that was really cool. The teacher, that was super nice lady, and yeah, I got to meet some of them through that. So yeah, I think Damascus just really has a good grasp on special education and just like creating a good supporting environment, which is really cool. I think they don't get enough credit for that, in my opinion.
Yeah. No, dude, you're right about that, man. There's a lot of guys that
I don't know if it's
I
still
can,
like that, but it used to be at least.
yeah. Yeah, Damascus. I mean, you can say Damascus is known for like, I mean, they have definitely good sports. They
Yeah,
have, they've got,
football team has been going down though. I've
for sure.
heard.
Yeah, the
It'll
football, yeah,
get back up though,
yeah,
because
maybe,
that's the Hornets.
maybe sports are over. But the thing that's been consistent, this is funny because I was at I've been kind of working at this steakhouse lately down in
Okay,
Gaithersburg, and
that's sick.
the guy who he's one of the managers there, and he's probably like 42,
Mm-hmm.
and he was like, "Where are you from?" I was like, "Man, right here, dude. I mean, right up the street, but
Yeah.
pretty close." And he's like, "Well, what school did you go to?" "Went to Damascus." When'd you graduate?" 2010. Oh yeah, okay. Well, I I went to I think he said like he went to a nearby school. I think he went to like Poolsville or something.
Okay.
And he was like, yeah, man, I'm familiar with Damascus. I was in high school in the '90s, but yeah, I dated some Damascus girls, and they were good looking girls.
uh,
I was laughing at myself because I was like, so it was like that back then
yeah,
too.
yeah, yeah,
It was like it didn't change for us either.
yeah,
And Damascus has always had pretty people.
yeah, yeah. No, definitely,
We got that
definitely.
going for us, and then I guess you can loop in the special needs programs.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
We got a couple things. We probably have like we come up with top five.
Yeah,
Top
yeah.
five things in Damascus.
Oh man, don't get me started. Tom and Ray's
Yeah.
is up there. Got the Hornet's Nest, dude. Get the Bellison burger at the Hornet's Nest, bro.
Every time.
No,
I don't
I don't
even
even
look
get
at the
it.
menu.
I don't get the egg on top. It's too much for me, but I respect it. I think it's awesome.
You can appreciate
Yeah.
the egg on top.
Yeah. You're getting your extra gains, Can't hate on it.
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
probably the library, dude. Damascus Library is legendary. I think they're redoing the inside of it right now, so you can't even go in there right now.
I like that you put the library in.
Yeah, you don't bang with the library?
No. I just when I'm thinking top five, I'm not thinking library, but
Yeah.
when you mention library, I started thinking about the library hangs back in the day, and I'm like that was a big library,
Yeah.
and it kind of has vibes like your place here,
I
dude.
got library vibes.
Yeah, it's
Let's
kind of got library
go.
vibes in here.
Let's
The
go.
windows, it's surrounded by trees.
We got a couple books in the corner, but mainly DVDs and PS3 games. Not too many books over there.
Yeah, do they have that at the library? I feel like they may have a little gaming
They got
corner.
DVDs.
They have the computers, bro, where you
Yeah.
can get after it.
Yeah.
Play some RuneScape.
Those computers get a little sketch. You just like use the mouse, and it's just like 3 centimeters of finger grease.
Oh
there,
yeah, man.
It's like, oh man, I gotta go wash my hands now.
The mouse has like the coating has like completely worn off, and you can just see it's just
so gnarly.
multiple colors on the mouse.
But when I was a kid, dude, I would go there and just get their Sports Illustrated for Kids magazines. That was fire,
dude.
Sometimes they'd have like stickers on them and stuff.
Dude, people forget, but magazine days were so
Ranger Rick, dude.
Gosh, dude, I used to get after with the magazine.
Yeah,
I loved scooping magazines, and I would do I would get the ones where so I remember definitely in the sports magazines and in the car ones too. I used to get a lot of car and driver, and even there'd be like these thicker magazines. I forget the name of it, but it was like more of a luxury magazine.
Like National Geographic, maybe?
Nah, it was still in the car space.
Okay.
But I remember there would always be inside these magazines, especially if you got the expensive ones that were like over $10.
Yeah.
They'd have a cutout poster in the middle. You know what I'm saying, right? It'd be like a sweet like Porsche, or it would be like I remember my middle school binder. I just had like 3 McLaren F1s on it, and then I had I think a Pantera.
Oof.
I was about cars back then.
Dude, I didn't know that. That's awesome. Did you do the models?
Yeah,
I like the models.
I like the model cars.
Painting them and stuff, putting stickers on them. It was sick.
Yeah.
It wasn't easy though, like breaking the little parts out of the plastic, because I would accidentally break the part,
Yeah, it was always right. So if you're trying to like put like the antenna in, you press a little hard.
Dang. Dude, do you remember Ben Franklin's store?
Yeah,
dude,
in the old Safeway shopping center.
They sold model cars and Beanie Babies. When Beanie Babies were hot, dude. Go there, go to Lido's, go to Fit and Fun.
I had my 7th birthday at Fit and Fun.
Oh,
yeah,
dude, that's sick.
I can speak to Fit and Fun, dude. Fit and Fun. Yo, this is why Damascus is top. Maybe we can do like a top 10.
Yeah.
This is we got some. We definitely have a history here. There's that Fit and Fun, because it was the old Safeway shopping center, so they had that like big aisle in the middle, and then I remember like you would drive, like if you went down 124 and entered through that way, and then you'd walk in, you go down that aisle, and then you pop out on the 27 side.
Yeah.
They had the gym at the far end. They had the Ben Franklin. They had the they had the Fit and Fun was so cool, because there was nothing fun to do in Damascus. Like activity wise, you would have to go down
just go to the
Gaithersburg
park
or whatever, or to the
yeah.
park. Yeah, but like if you wanted to go in like a building and have fun,
there was nothing.
There was nothing except the Fit and Fun
and the library.
And the library. We can't forget the library.
But Fit and Fun, Fit and Fat. You remember the huge balls, the big like soccer balls, and then like the thing where like you just slide down, and there's the foam pit, of course. Dude, yeah, that place was tops for a birthday party.
I love it, man. If I knew we were talking about Fit and Fun today, I would have brought my seventh birthday photos and and showed
really
you, dude. Yeah, you would have went down memory lane, man. You would have been like, dude, I remember those mats, or like, yes,
all right, yeah,
those walls.
Yeah, no, you should bring those to church sometime. I would like to see those.
Yeah, we'll just edit them in.
Yeah. You can fax them to me, and I'll just put them on the screen.
Yeah, exactly.
Dude. Speaking of difference makers, dude, you still drumming for them?
Yeah,
Dude, that's so awesome. I
just
really
started
admire
again.
that about you, bro. I think that's awesome, dude. Making music for the Lord is tops, dude.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, man.
Dude, cheers on that.
Cheers to that, bro. Water cheers. But how'd you get into that? Were you just like, well, how'd you get into drumming? Honestly, how long you been drumming?
I got into it when I was probably in 7th grade.
Okay.
Yeah, that was basically I kind of like stumbled into it really, because I was in band growing up.
Oh,
I used to
okay.
play the trumpet, dude.
Dang, dude.
I never learned how to do it really well, but dude, I'd hold it, man, and
Yeah.
I'd press the buttons,
Yeah.
try, try to make something. Yeah, band. Like, see, people think like when you're in band growing up, like just total dork, but if you're in band, band was lit.
Okay.
Band was where it was at.
Some good socializing.
Yeah, it was just it was just always fun and funny. Like
Yeah.
I mean, first of all, you're holding an instrument.
Yeah,
You're like
yeah.
10, and you're like, dude, I don't know what to do with this
Yeah.
thing, but they forced me in this class, and here I am. And
Yeah.
you try and make music. It's just so funny hearing your friends who can't play try to play.
Yeah, especially the clarinet.
Yeah, it's like the equivalent of like farting in class.
Yeah, yeah.
It's really it's a good time. You have a lot of good memories in band growing up. But anyways,
Man.
so this was in jazz band in 7th grade, and I remember we had Marzell.
Oh, my dog. Are you was in band? That's hilarious.
Bro, he was in, dude, band was stacked back then.
That's gas.
But let me just tell you, so they had, in jazz band, they had drummers, right? And so we had Marzell Graham, we had Frankie Rumor. I think John Davis might have been even playing.
Oh, dang.
But we had like three, or maybe there was another drummer in there too, but I would just sit there with my trumpet, and they'd be like working on something with the drummers in class. I just remember, like, I would just like, I'd put my trumpet down, and I'd just be like, by myself drumming along. And then so I ended up asking my mom for a drum kit that year, got one, and then started playing up through high school.
Dude, that's so sick. Drumming's awesome. Yeah, I got a set when I think it was early high school. Got a used set from Craigslist, dude, and I wish I never sold that thing. That thing was so much fun to play with, dude. But yeah, drums are awesome. I never got I learned how to keep a beat and stuff, but I never like broke through that beginner stage. So I got a lot of respect for dudes that get good at it, because it's not easy. It looks easy because you're flowing and stuff, but time and everything is like, that's hard, man.
Yeah. Do you remember when you were playing, if you wanted to like continue with it, or like were you like,
I think I was just
discouraged?
I was so wrapped up in just my life at that point, because I think I was going to college for the first time or something, and it was just like drumming. I don't really care about it, but then now it's like, dang, because I drum along to stuff constantly, and I'm like, dang, it'd be nice just to have that set just to mess around with. But yeah, no, it's awesome, man. So did you like learn from anybody, or did you kind of like teach yourself?
It was mainly self-taught.
Yeah,
I
that's
did
sick.
lessons growing up for probably at the Studio Music, if you remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's next to where Papa John's used to be.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yep. Right in that like Starbucks
Yeah, that's where
shopping center.
KSS gym is now.
Exactly, right over there. Yeah, man. So I did music lessons there for like once a week for a few months. But what I can say about the drums is that if you're trying to if you want to play drums, you should just, I think, play by yourself and fall in love with the instrument
Yeah,
first.
yeah.
Because the moment you start doing, especially like back in those days, I mean, I don't know when that, I mean, that would have been, I guess, like mid 2000s.
Okay.
But basically, like, getting those lessons, they bring the book out, and then they try to teach you how to read music,
Yeah.
and then how to play rudiments and stuff. But that'll never that won't translate,
Yeah.
dude. That doesn't make you fall in love with the instrument. You fall in love with the instrument when you hear like for me, dude. I remember hearing like Smells Like Teen Spirit, like in the very
Yeah.
beginning where it's
Yeah.
you know, like I heard that and I was like, I want to play that.
Yeah. Yeah. Dude, that's
But
awesome.
you never look at a book and you're like, I want to be able to read music. You
Yeah.
hear something that inspires you, and then you say, okay, because it's art. Like the
Yeah.
same thing with
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
what
It is
you know,
art.
you would
Yeah.
want to paint because like you saw something that moved you,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? Instead of just like I don't know something else.
Yeah, it's because you like you're playing the instrument. You're not like robot reading. Like it's like it has to be like a free flow from you kind of thing.
Like if someone was trying to teach me why I should like painting, and they're like sitting there and they're painting, and I'm just trying to like follow them. I probably wouldn't fall in love with it. I'd probably
Yeah,
like be stressed, or I'd just be like,
yeah,
oh, I'm not getting this or whatever.
yeah,
But if I saw something and I was like, I like that,
yeah,
and
yeah.
like I'm influenced by that, and then I find myself a pen and paper
Yeah,
later, and I'm like, yo, let me try and like
yeah.
that 3D cube that
Replicate
dude
that.
drew down. Yeah, let me see if I can whip
And
that
Sketch
up.
did nail that, dude. Shout out Sketch.
Shout out Sketch for sure. So
But
yeah, man. I mean, that's and if you want to get back into drums, you should absolutely get
yeah,
yourself
you're
like
right.
an electric kit or something, and you would never have to worry about things being too loud. And
Yeah.
people always sell them for cheap too,
Okay.
so you could probably get one for a great deal right
Dang.
around here. And then after getting it, come in here and just dude put on like.
Yeah.
Did you listen to like Rage Against the Machine or
Oh
anything
yeah,
growing
yeah,
up?
yeah, for sure. My dad loved them, so yeah, that whole self-titled album I'm pretty familiar with. But I grew up with like kind of like pop punk and alternative rock, like
Speaking my language, dude.
you know what I'm saying. Reliant K was like my first big like Christian rock, and then as I got older, I was allowed to listen to secular music because like growing up, it was like Christian music only,
Yeah.
which was funny. Which I mean, there's a lot of really good Christian music, I will say, that was slept on. But there's also a lot of really good secular music that should be enjoyed by people. You know,
I feel that.
but like yeah, I saw that the All American Rejects got like shut down by the police at some college concert or something. Did you see that?
No, what happened?
They just got paid to do a show at like a frat house or something, and then the cops came and like shut it down because it was too like unruly or something. But it was like, dang, that's some like early 2000s type stuff. Like I wouldn't think that they would still be rocking out in 2025 like that.
It's so weird how that happens. I've noticed this too because there's a lot of I think social media has a ton to do with it.
Yeah.
But like for example, right now, like Bill Withers, dude, his stuff is blowing up
Yeah.
because on these like different Instagram videos, people just edit a song in there, and then one of them just kind of like if you have a viral video with that sound,
Yeah.
it just reaches so many people. And so the song where it's like, I hear the crystal raindrops fall, you know, and like so now like Bill Withers was like big back in like the '70s, and
Yeah.
so like like stuff like that happens, and then people start listening to music like that again. And
Yeah.
then I think even though like All American Rejects were big for you said All American, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they were
Uh-huh.
big for us growing up
Yeah.
because I mean,
Move along, move along.
dude, that was one of the that was one of the bands that like
That album
really,
was great.
yeah,
For
like
sure.
really, I loved listening to them for a while.
Yeah. Or like
I'd even
Under
work out
Oath
to them.
did.
Under Earth is sick.
Yeah, yeah, they're a little harder than All American Rejects, but super dope
Girl
band.
with the one eye, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I like that song.
dude, that band was so sick.
Dude, I wish to this day, if I could go back in time, one thing I would do differently is I would absolutely go to Warped Tour.
Yeah, dude.
I never
Yeah.
went.
Oh,
Did you
I got
go?
the pleasure of going to I think at least two different ones.
I wish I would have went.
Yeah, I went to I think what was the last one in like 2000 and 19 or something like that. I don't know. But I went with my friend Colin. You remember Colin?
Curly?
Yeah.
Dude, absolutely.
That was my go-to.
He's another big artist.
Yeah, dude, big artist.
Shout out Colin Curly.
Yeah, dude, he made the logo for my channel right now for the kids table. So
That's awesome, dude.
Shout out Bruce.
Yeah.
Yeah, got a lot of artists in our friend group. It's pretty dope, you know.
Yeah.
Everyone's just creative.
Yeah.
Love it.
That's facts.
Dude, like I just saw you just created a new product for the drums.
Yeah.
Freaking awesome, dude. Can you tell me about that?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, man. So really, the whole inspiration for the idea was around the idea of like my displeasure with I was having a problem with the cymbal wing nut because it would always, when you play, you know, after you hit the cymbal for a little while, the wing nut will loosen up because the cymbals rotate naturally. And then after enough rotations, the wing nut will pop off. And then when it pops off, you lose control of the cymbal. It'll just start like really like waves. So it's like, man, and I've had times in sets where like the cymbal would fly off the stand.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and so like at that point, like you either need some kind of guy that's close by who can grab it and put it back on for you, or you're just hoping you got other cymbals that you can use. So I decided to like, I just remember like it was yesterday, man. I was in the middle of a worship set.
Okay.
It was a practice, but it was a worship set, and I remember I really believe the Lord gave me the idea, and He was like, hey, these wing nuts would work way better if you had on the side, because you got your wing nut, it's T-shaped, and then on the bottom trunk there's a space, but you could actually drill holes in it and have set screws and then tighten those set screws so that when you torsion the wing nut down, then you can tighten the set screws and it'll just lock into place.
Okay.
I looked online, there was nothing made like that. And then I decided to work with a manufacturer to get it made.
So sick.
And yeah, we made it, and it's available now for purchase. It's on. I have a website set up. So,
okay, I'll put that in the description for sure.
Dope. Yeah, thank you, man.
Yeah, of course, dude. I love supporting my boys' businesses, man. Like small businesses is what it's all about.
Yeah, we come from a world of them, right? You know, Tom and Ray's, Hornets Nest.
Yeah, dude. It's just good hometown stuff, man.
It's so legit.
Dude. Yeah, I meant to ask you to bring one because I do want to see what they look like, but they look sick on Instagram.
Yeah, they're like different colors too, so you can like get something custom if if Red's if you're a Burgundy and Gold fan out there, which you should be.
Shout out the Durs.
We'll get you color coordinated with that, but yeah, man. So, but the whole like inspiration was I wanted to make a product that would really help. Not only I wanted to find a solution for my own problems, but I felt like if they were my problems, they're probably someone else's too. So we've been working with different people in the drummer space, got connected to a couple pretty big time drummers. One of them, and this is shout out to my friend Jonathan Fortson, because he has the connections, but one of our friends, Josh Foster, he drums for Mariah Carey.
Oh.
And he's drummed for a bunch of other different artists.
Wow.
And he's a supporter.
Dude, that's awesome, bro. Dang.
We got connected with the guy who drums for Nas.
Dang, dude.
Illmatic.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, dude.
So there's been some some cool progression with it. And in this day and age, man, this is another thing I've realized is that if you there's a community for anything.
Yeah.
You can literally be interested in anything, and you'll be able to find a community for it.
Yeah.
And it's just a matter of, I think, trying to grow that community, because the more that you grow it, the more other people are curious about it, and they may want to be a part of it.
Yeah.
So it's just like I've just seen it organically happen. Like it doesn't matter what it as niche as drumming is. People, there's a community there, and there's more and more people that are joining it. Same thing with whatever you're into. And it's like, if you're on Reddit, like you can literally find a Reddit community for whatever.
Yeah.
So it's cool, yeah. So I always like to
Oh, I
support
love
people and
Reddit.
encourage
Yeah,
them. I'm always like, man, like if you find something that you're passionate about that you enjoy, then join a community or try to like create one yourself because when you're passionate, it's the passion that speaks.
yeah.
People are always drawn to passion.
Right. Yeah.
Whatever, like it doesn't matter like if you're like passionate about like I don't know, dude, like gardening.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it's crazy. Like on YouTube, I see like videos of guys that are like doing landscaping.
Yeah.
Like they're just literally cutting lawns and they have like 30,000 likes on the video. But they're
Yeah.
passionate about lawn care and people like see that and for some reason they're drawn to it and they want to support. And it's
Yeah.
I think these are some of the coolest times we're living in because of that kind of thing.
Yeah, it really seems to be the day or the age for people just to chase their dreams. Like everyone's just getting after it, which is awesome, dude.
Let's go, dude. You're doing your things right now, man. You're doing the
Appreciate
podcasting
it,
thing.
man.
This is super cool.
Yeah, but you just
I'm a
inspired
big
me.
supporter.
Thank you, bro. You just inspired me to try to find other local podcasters because, like you said, there's got to be a community for it. And I haven't really found, like, I found Kyle. He does a podcast, which is awesome. But I feel like there's probably other people in the area that want to do the same thing. I just gotta find them, connect with them. But yeah, no, drumming I'm sure has a super dope community because I mean that's been around for so long.
Yeah.
I wonder when they even first like invented the drum set. You know, it's probably like you think like 1900 or even before then.
I think something like that. I know so they used to have they had a couple different like variations of the drum kit
Really?
and yeah and they didn't always have the like the bass drum pedal.
Mm.
That came that came at some point I think either in the late 1800s or early 1900s.
Okay.
And yeah, before that, I mean, it would have just been like congas and
Yeah.
hand drums. But it's really yeah. That sounded like a gallop.
Yeah, it sounded like a horse galloping.
Yeah, so which is crazy to think about, like how drumming actually works too, because
Right.
yeah, if it is relatively a new thing, like as far as like four limb drumming,
Yeah.
because you got your left foot, you got your right foot, you got left hand, right hand, and just the way the drum set was created, how it can be played, like it was a recent thing, and I feel like
Dang, I forgot do you usually use both feet when you're playing?
you don't have to. It's just
Say,
preference.
that's wild. Like, yeah, my mind would just go in a pretzel if I tried to do that.
Dude, yeah, it is crazy. My mind goes in a pretzel all the time. I'm trying to do stuff with both feet.
Yeah, that's insane.
There's guys who, I mean, the guys who have probably the best like foot type of independence are the metal guys.
Oh, really? Because of double bass.
The double bass, yeah.
That's super sick.
Yeah,
they're
all
just
that stuff.
cranking on it.
It's just pure gas.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Have you ever been to like a show like that just to see what it's like?
I've never been to a metal show that I can think of, but I've tried to play double bass drum and it's hard.
Yeah,
it's not easy.
Yeah,
so I got respect for the guys that can do it.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, I haven't been to a good rock concert in a while. I don't know if I've been to a metal show, but I've been to hardcore shows before, and that's pretty dope. Like at the Mount Airy Fire Hall, they used to do them. It's pretty similar to metal, I guess, but it's just more. I don't even know how to describe it. It's just like grassroots, or just like angsty dudes in their early 20s, just like living out of their car. Just grimy stuff, but they make pretty decent music, or they used to make pretty good music, and it was worth like the $10 to get in.
Totally.
But people would be like punching each other in the face. I'm like, I don't see the fun in that. But
the moshing,
the moshing,
like
I think shoulder to shoulder is like fun or whatever, but like when you're just hitting each other in the face, I would get a little upset.
Yeah, I think like when I look at moshing, I'm like, to me, it just seems like they're trying to express themselves and
Yeah.
like fully dance. Like it's one thing if I'm just dancing like this,
Yeah, just
I'm like,
rocking.
yeah, like I'm keeping it nice and tight, close, arms are, within, my body frame.
Yeah.
But there's something different, even in worship, man. Like when you do this, like that feels
Yeah.
nice because you're,
Yeah.
you're stretching yourself out, right? You're making use of more area, more territory.
Yeah, yeah.
When I think about moshing, like they're just going like this and this, and they're a tabletop.
Yeah. They're making like a sphere with everywhere that they're like touching in the air. It's like making like an orb around.
Yeah, they're like they're totally letting go, and they're moving from left to right, up and down. I think it's just like it's kind of like a form of exercise. I think they just
Yeah.
do. They have all this like pent up energy that they got to let out, and
Yeah.
that's probably how they're doing it. And
Yeah.
I think people kind of get. I think people get to me like there's some mosh pits that are definitely dangerous, but I think generally speaking, it's probably not that dangerous.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
you're just hands out, or you're throwing some jabs, some punches, some hooks, that is like you might catch one, but I mean that's totally different from being in the ring with KSF.
Yeah, yeah, no, yeah, definitely would rather be in a mosh pit than getting submitted by KSF. It's like tap tap tap.
Yeah,
Yeah,
man. But that's cool. Yeah, dude. Definitely going to the concerts with energy
yeah,
are so freaking fun.
yeah,
And
no,
I prefer to go to them in smaller venues too.
yeah, yeah, no.
If you ever
Small
go to a
venues
small
are
venue
awesome.
concert, man, it almost doesn't
Yes.
matter who you see. It's like it's so great.
Yeah, you feel the music so much more, and you get the authenticity, and you like see what they're putting into it and how they set up, and it's just so awesome. Like I went to this one in Baltimore years ago. It was like a skateboarding slash concert, and it was these skateboarders who played music and rapped, and then there was like a half pipe in the venue. That was rad.
What? Where was this?
It was somewhere in Baltimore, man, at some
That
like
does sound very
warehouse or
Baltimore.
something. But yeah, it was pretty dope. I think Andrew Reynolds was there, which is crazy. Or Spanky from Baker was definitely there,
Yeah.
and I think Goatface was his name. But yeah, I want to go back to a concert, man. It's been well, I saw Slightly Stupid a couple years ago. That was my last like concert, and that was pretty cool.
They're still doing it, huh?
Yeah, and Sublime with Rome was there too. That was pretty cool.
Yeah. Dude, I
And
got real into Slightly Stupid in college.
dude, great music. It's just very chill, but like upbeat at the same time. Good sound.
Yeah, I think I downloaded this was definitely before Spotify, but I remember I think I illegally downloaded.
LimeWire maybe.
Yeah, well, I forget what it was, the YouTube to MP3 thing,
Oh
because
yeah, I
LimeWire
still
was gone
do
at that
that,
point.
dude, for like certain things. Yeah.
I did that for like 80 of their songs.
Yeah.
I was I was a fanatic for a while.
Yeah. No, I love them. Revolution, you ever listen to them?
Yeah.
Or Stick Figure.
I don't know about Stick
Dude,
Figure.
check out Stick Figure. I think you would definitely like them. Very.
Are they reggae feel?
Yeah, it's this white guy from Pennsylvania making reggae music, but it's good. I like it.
It's like Modest Yahoo, you know?
Yeah, yeah. Modest Yahoo is at least Jewish, so like he's got some some seasoning to him. Like a white guy from Pennsylvania, that's like as white as it gets. Like a Quaker.
I guess what I'm saying with Modest Yahoo is that Modest Yahoo, like, he talks about like, being like Muslim, like being like true, like which I mean you can't.
Is he Muslim?
Yeah, he's Muslim.
I thought he
but
was Jewish.
He has like his roots are definitely Jewish, but I think he's also just like normal white guy.
Okay.
Because he has the beard growing, you can't really tell.
No, yeah, the beard for sure, yeah.
Like I think like, and
I thought
totally...
he was like like Orthodox Jew, because sometimes they'll have the beards going, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he. I think he was very into I want to make sure I speak as correctly as I can on this, since we're on the record.
We're gonna fact check it.
Yeah, we'll fact check it. But I think he was like very, very involved with religion for a while, and he was studying a ton of different religions.
Okay.
And I think either grew up Jewish or had like some Jewish ties.
Okay.
But he like made the transition to Islam.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and he's been like on that for a while.
Interesting. I didn't know that.
But I think before he was famous, he was just like a regular, like he probably would have grown up in Damascus, you know?
Okay.
Like, I think he was like normal suburban kid, but then just got like real into that kind of stuff, like religion, and then just kind of being a free spirit, letting the beard grow and doing his thing. Which hey, shout out Monticello.
Yeah, my cousin saw him in concert a couple years ago. He said it was pretty awesome. It was like at a synagogue.
Mm.
So yeah.
Oh, maybe I could be totally wrong then. If it was at a synagogue.
Yeah, I think he did say it was
then.
at a synagogue. It was probably like 3 years ago. But yeah, I don't know. I'm pretty sure they don't get along too well, Islam. But anyway. But did POD, you remember POD?
Oh yeah.
He had a song with Miles Yahoo that was fire.
POD, I like POD, Saliva. And
Saliva.
Remember them too?
No. I might have to check them out later.
I think they did Click Click Boom.
Okay. I remember that song.
Yeah, that was in, what movie is that from?
Click, clack, boom.
I want to say Longest Yard.
Yeah, something like that. Longest Yard was a wild movie.
Well, yeah, Longest Yard, bro.
Yeah.
So that makes me happy too, because usually when they remake an old movie, it doesn't go as well.
Yeah, no, it went.
But the remake for The Longest Yard was awesome.
Yeah, Adam Sandler killed it.
Dude, they're remaking they're doing Happy Gilmore too.
Oh, dude, stoked for that.
Yeah,
very hyped for that.
Shane Gillis is in it.
Really?
I think so.
Oh, dang. You big Gilly guy?
I love Gillis. My favorite
couple of beers.
Yeah, he's hilarious, man. And even on Saturday Night Live too, which to me,
he was very.
It's not
funny.
really been like my style of humor, but
he killed it.
Yeah, he made me laugh on Saturday Night Live. Which, if you can do that, dude, you're hilarious.
Yeah, I like some Saturday Night Live. I can't lie. I like some Kenan Thompson.
Yeah,
he geeks me out. But yeah, no, Shane Gillis is funny. He did the case race on the Yak. Have you ever watched that?
Yeah.
That was pretty funny. He almost got in a fight with the one guy.
Painted their faces.
Yeah.
Dang, exactly. We should paint our faces today.
Dang, dude, next time.
Yeah, we'll do it next time.
Yeah.
I want when the Redskins come out with their new helmets, then we can paint our faces.
Are they coming out with new helmets?
Dude, they got to be, man. They got to be doing. I think they're doing. They were talking about doing giving tribute to the Native American logo.
Okay.
Right. I forget the guy's name, but they wanted to pay tribute to him, and then so I think they're going to redo uniforms this year. They haven't really talked about it too much, but in the beginning, that was something Josh Harris was like, yeah, we want to show like respect to this guy.
I love that.
And to what he did. And they should update helmets too. I mean, dude, for sure the jerseys, because the jerseys are, those aren't cutting it, man.
The I kind of like the black ones, but yeah, I know what you mean. Like they could be so much better.
I don't mind black either, but I'm just like the fact that the burgundy, it's not the same burgundy,
and the gold's not the same gold.
Yeah, and they don't even just with the font. Yeah, the Commanders, I was telling a buddy of mine, dude, I can't believe that actually passed. I can't believe that went through, because I could do that. I have no digital editing experience or Adobe experience at all.
Yeah.
But I know that I could make that logo
a better graphic.
For sure. I could select that font, and then I could do the line above and the line below. I'm like, dude, who allowed that to be a thing?
Yeah.
For the
Dan Snyder.
For $1 billion.
Didn't he introduce the Commanders? Or am I wrong?
I think
he did.
No, they went from the
football team.
Yeah, they went from Redskins to football team, And then
That's why this jersey's lost, because it's the football team.
yeah, it is lit. You know what? You might be right. I think he
was there for the
he's for the
beginning
tail
of
end,
it.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because because then when Josh Harris took over, everyone was like, "You bringing the name back? Are you bringing the name back?" Yeah, so yeah, you're right. And then he swore he would never change the name in a million years. And then the moment FedEx wants to threaten, he's like, "Hey, all right, whatever you want, dude."
Yeah.
I don't know, but I still hate the name. I think I'm always gonna hate the name.
Yeah.
And I want the name to come back, and I think it will come back.
You think so?
I think it will. My take on it is that it's gonna take time, and you're gonna need to have a good There's got to be. They have to build this appreciation or desire to hear from the fan base more than Dan Schneider did.
Yeah.
Because if they really start welcoming feedback from their people, and then they all say we want the name back, and then they already have the new stadium built, and they can actually withstand the undertaking of swapping brands again, going back to it. I think it would happen. It's just a matter. I just think that they haven't talked about it all right now because it's just too much with the stadium.
Yeah. I wasn't really paying attention to the news, and then somebody was like, "Yeah, they just got RFK back or something." Or no, it was am I saying it right?
Yeah.
RFK Stadium?
RFK Stadium, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and I was like, I didn't really believe it for some reason. I was like, yeah, they've been saying that. And then I saw they're actually moving stadiums. I was like, oh wow, that's awesome. Because FedEx has been falling apart for years, and it's kind of gnarly.
Yeah.
I love it there. I'll miss it there.
You gonna miss it there?
I mean,
you're not gonna miss it there, dude. FedEx.
Yeah.
In Landover.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all.
What are you gonna miss about it?
It's all I knew about, their football placement, because I never went to the super old games when they were at RFK and stuff. But yeah, no. Overall, it'll be a good change for sure.
You're gonna miss you're gonna miss those childhood memories of this. I grew up on this.
Yeah, exactly.
I get that, but dude, once RFK gets rolling, and maybe they call it FanDuel Stadium or something or whatever, like a sports book sponsors it. But dude, that new stadium is gonna be so awesome. And dude, it's gonna be Southeast DC, so
it's gonna be in DC, which
it'll
is
be
awesome.
in DC. You can get you can have yourself an evening after the game.
Yeah, that'll be sick.
It's gonna be so cool. I can't wait for that. That was one of the reasons why I want to move out to DC. Is because of that.
Yeah,
for sure.
No, living in DC would be fire for sure. I love DC.
Yeah.
My parents grew up in PG County and Camp Springs, and that's not that far from DC. So my grandmother would go there and go to the art galleries and stuff all the time. So just growing up and them showing me the different parts of DC, I definitely fell in love with the city. It's something special. Baltimore's awesome, but DC is really something.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, what's your take on those two cities? Because it seems like people who love DC hate Baltimore. People who hate Baltimore.
I think that's whack. I think you can like both.
Yeah,
because they are both. They're their own things. They're very unique. Neither one is really like the other. Baltimore has a lot more, I guess, history, or just I don't know, just having the harbor there and all the ships going by, all the cargo and stuff. I feel like Baltimore is just more like the working class. There's a lot of heart and charm to it, and there's a lot of crabs and Old Bay and Maryland and stuff. And then DC is just the capital of the country, so it has all this prestige, and people expect so much of it that it has to live up to these standards and be kind of fancy in some parts. And they're just different, but they're both awesome in their own ways.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Yeah, Baltimore is definitely, I think, a city. I think people who understand, like, really understand. So,
Yeah,
like, what I mean by that is a lot of folks who like talk bad about Baltimore usually just see it from the outside, or
yeah, they've been there like once.
yeah, or they lived there for like a short period of time, and they had an experience that just like they'll never recover from, so
Yeah,
they hate it. But
yeah,
like people who, there is like a more mature person who has a history with Baltimore, and they're
yeah,
like, man, you have no idea, dude. Baltimore is, because you look at all the things you're saying about the history.
yeah,
I mean, rich history, and it was like traditionally just like a big shipyard.
yeah, yeah,
And then, but like on top of that, though, you have crazy art and
yeah.
history,
Great
like
art for
like
sure.
music, the music scene in Baltimore, and the
Theater and yeah,
yeah, all of that. It's pretty, and there's what I like too about Baltimore is it has a very distinct feel. It's very distinct. Like
hmm
when you're from Baltimore, you're living in Baltimore, it feels Baltimore.
yeah, yeah.
It
It
has its
does.
very
It
own
does.
flavor
As
to
a
it.
smell.
Whereas with DC, you don't have that. DC, you have your different pockets in it. Like there's all these different neighborhoods.
Yeah, there's Chinatown. And there's Anacostia.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you have your four quadrants, and then you have like inside each quadrant, like you have, Adams Morgan or DuPont.
Yeah,
It's like there's a whole lot going on in DC. You can live downtown, be on Capitol Hill, whatever. But in Baltimore, man, if you're in Baltimore, it's just, yeah, you have your neighborhoods, but everyone's got that Baltimore
yeah.
spirit to them,
It's a vibe.
and there is a ton of pride there, even though
Yeah,
like there's so much destruction, and the city needs like it's got to be rebuilt.
yeah,
The town, there's a lot of like foreclosures and vacancies,
yeah.
but
It's
man,
like Arkham City, and Steel is the Batman.
yeah, pretty much, dude.
Because he lives there, and he's the Batman of Baltimore.
Yeah, dude. I'm also saying, like, man, I feel like Baltimore should have been rebuilt by now. Like, it should have been,
Yeah, the roads
I'm,
may be redone.
yeah, like why? Yeah, why aren't certain things in Baltimore better yet? I
Yeah,
realize some of it's getting better, right? Like, I mean, they're building like new apartment complexes in like Fed Hill and different areas. I
yeah,
mean, Fells is always. I mean, I guess Canton's always been nice. Fells has been nice, but like there's crime, here and there and stuff.
yeah. No, there's definitely some crime in old Baltimore.
But it's like, dude, why? I don't understand why like more people aren't going in there and trying to like renovate and like buy, because you can buy those
Yeah,
blocks, especially a developer, go in there, buy those blocks and renovate them and make them nice.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then like it'll help the city out a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have to be able to get rid of or at least mitigate the drug problem more
Yeah.
than what it's been. I mean, yeah, I get like fentanyl use is high and all that, but you see
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? I'm kind of like, man,
Yeah.
like I feel like
It's almost like they're scared of it, and they're just like, "You guys got it. Like, we'll just buy some. We'll worry about Hagerstown right now,
yeah,
because Hagerstown is getting a little bit of a boost, but not much.
I heard Hagerstown is getting like pretty nice,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's definitely
nicer at
it's
least.
upgrading for sure. Um, yeah, I did an Instacart delivery there, and I like it was like right down one of the old main streets. And I like did the delivery, and it was 100% just like jacks were smoking inside and stuff. I was like, "Yep, this is Hagerstown."
What do they want, dude? Jack in the Box?
Nah, nah, they got just some wall. Honestly, they did well. They just got some necessities from Walmart, so
Nice.
I respected it. But it's interesting how Baltimore. But I kind of like it like that, because at least it's like consistent. Like Because I don't really like it when places get like gentrified. You know what I mean? Like upgraded is good, but like when it's upgraded just to kind of get rid of the lower class or the middle class, like I don't really love that.
Yeah.
But you can definitely still do one without the other, so, and they should do that in Baltimore.
Yeah, they just gotta figure out how to way to like keep it nicer because if you're like, for example, if the if you're not taking care of your neighborhood
Mm-hmm.
and it's getting trashed, then it's just gonna welcome a certain
Yeah.
type of folk who are more prone to use drugs,
Yeah.
white or black, doesn't matter, or green, whatever,
Yeah.
purple. The other thing though with it is that if somehow, and like this is Wes Moore too, like he's governor of Maryland now, so he can step in and hopefully
Yeah.
he's got a plan for it. But I think like yeah, he doesn't want to gentrify and push people out or anything, but you also got to have the right people living in those houses. And even if someone is on the poorer side,
Yeah.
but if they like take care of like
Yeah.
what they have and they want to, be a benefit to their neighborhood, their community,
Right.
even though they don't have much money or they need to live on government support, like, hey, I get that. That's no problem.
Yeah.
I'm happier that they're taking care of it. But the thing that is hard to resolve is people who need government support and they don't like want to take care of anything.
Yeah.
Because I'm like when has that person ever been rewarded?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like that person should just like live in, I don't know, they need to live in an apartment.
Right.
They don't need a townhome. They're not gonna take care of it.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It's an interesting culture there.
So yeah, not to get too morbid or anything, but yeah, I would love to see Baltimore restored, dude, and like keep the integrity of the city.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
keep those like paintings of Bessie Smith,
Yeah.
like those big murals and stuff. Like that's
Yeah.
awesome. I love
Yeah.
all that, man. All those
Yeah.
classic guys. I don't know if Art Tatum was from Baltimore too, but like those old jazz guys.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's just
Yeah.
cool, man. It's cool, like the history of it. Baltimore, dude. If you look at a photo from like 1950,
Yeah.
you look at Pennsylvania Avenue,
Yeah.
dude. Like people are literally outside scrubbing down their concrete steps.
Really.
Yeah, actually, I think they were some of them were marble too. They
Wow.
had marble steps in some cases. It was beautiful. People would be out in suits, like
Yeah.
rolling
Yeah.
dice, like talking, whatever, doing,
Yeah.
just loving life and being friendly out there. But yeah, we need to get back to that.
Yeah.
That would be dope, man. Because I do have a heart for Baltimore. Mama grew up in Middle River, so we used to go out to Baltimore a good bit. And bro, we both
Okay.
went to Towson, so it's
Yeah.
like
Yeah. Yeah.
we
Yeah.
got that connection with Baltimore.
Yeah, man. On what was that one street in Towson where there was always that one house party? Ah, I think you and Woody lived near there.
New York Road.
No. Anyway, Towson was a good time for sure. I forget. Yeah, there was like a little like neighborhood where people would rent from when they went to Towson. Um,
Was it like? Was it headed? What direction was it headed?
Man, it was like maybe like west of the campus a little bit. I don't know. It's been so long since I've been there, but that's where I met Kayla for like the first time. So it's a special place in my heart.
You can't remember the name of it.
The name of the street, yeah, yeah. Do you probably remember Ashley lived there?
Ashley
At Chiampong.
Oh,
and because you and Woody just lived a
lived
stone's throw from there.
we lived
Because
in
I
Donnybrook.
slept there. Donnybrook. That's what it was.
That's what you're thinking? Yeah, Donnybrook.
Yes, yes, Donnybrook.
All right. I didn't know that's what you were referring to. Yeah, Donnybrook was
that was the
was great, man.
spot, man.
Yeah.
Loved going there.
Magus lived over there too.
Yeah.
Donnybrook was
that was the
that was
OG
great, man.
spot, man.
Yeah.
Loved going there.
Magus lived over there too.
Yeah, we just had some good
Same
times. I
lineup.
remember, yeah. Well, the funny part is I would go to like parties and stuff. I don't remember seeing Sam. He was probably somewhere else, but I never recall seeing him there. I remember hanging out with like you and Woody and like Tommy Scott and some of those guys.
Yeah, man.
But and I was just going like to MC, and I would just drive up on like a Friday night or something.
I wish that's exactly what I did. If I could go back, dude, I would not enroll in college. I would just live on the college campus. And work. That's what I would have done.
Yeah, the student loans were pretty big.
How are you looking on your loans?
I could be in a worse place. I paid off my private ones, so I'm happy about that. Just paying off the federals.
There you go.
But yeah, it could be a lot worse. I feel bad for the people that have like 80 grand in debt and stuff, and like they got some degree that's like ambiguous or something. It's like, oh man. I don't know too many people like that, honestly. But
yeah, I know, dude. Thank God, like my parents, like can you imagine, like if I was like, Mom, I really want to do women's studies, and she was like, you know what, you should, sweetie, do it. Yeah, go for it. You gotta have good parents, man. You gotta have parents that would be like, you're not doing women's studies.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do with that?
Yeah,
nothing.
Exactly.
Absolutely not. But yeah, dude. No, it was you got a degree in education, right?
Yeah, elementary and special education.
That's solid, man. Mine was in business administration, which
is good, dude.
Yeah, not bad. Hasn't really done anything for me though. I haven't gone anywhere with it.
Yeah, I feel you, man. I thought my bachelor's would do more for me than it has, but hey, I don't regret it. It was a lot of good learning and life experience.
Can you imagine if I mean, it'll never happen, but if like, well, maybe it would. Maybe like the number of universities, like where they dropped, like they cut in half.
Just like doing like the Doge budget type thing.
Yeah, like let's say there's just like there's one major state university, and then there's a couple community colleges.
Yeah.
And that's all you have moving forward in each state.
Yeah.
It's like, because at that point, dude, getting a college degree would mean so much more.
Yeah.
Because they only have one university.
Right. There's no like Strayer or something.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly, dude. You can't, like we live in a world where there's way too many.
Yeah, you can kind of make up a school.
For sure.
As long as it sounds kind of legit. And then you like make a good like font and send an email from it or something.
Yeah, I mean, with the help of our good buddy Chat.
Yeah. Dude, I got a BS from BS University, dude.
Yeah, dude. I mean, it's 100% the case. I mean, it's like, and I don't even know how much employers actually spot check that too.
Right.
Like, are they really doing,
or how much they care about like which university? They probably do, but I don't know. It's confusing.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I've always been, I've kind of been against college for a lot of my life.
Hey, same, man.
But only just because, dude, I think like they're not getting what they're paying for it, and it's just kind of like unfortunate. But I mean, I'm for it in certain ways. Like I'm for it if you're getting a scholarship, paid for, or I'm for it if the person really wants to do it and they know what they're getting into. Yeah, exactly. But I think a lot of times, like, man, it's just kind of like passively pushed on people when they're young. They don't like, dude, you're 18 years old. Like,
you have no idea.
You don't know, like,
unless you do, but most of the time you don't. Yeah.
Most of the time you don't. It's like most people don't really get settled in their career until they're 30.
Yeah, exactly.
And you're 20. Like that's the other thing. Like people talk about having their wildest days in their 20s.
Yeah.
Like they're 20. Like it's the raging 20s, right?
Yeah.
Most people are like, if they don't have any roots in God, like they'll wild out with like women and like just stay out late partying, doing whatever. And you're trying to tell me that person can also fully determine what they want to do career wise,
making
and invest $50,000, $100,000 into it.
Yeah,
it's like, I mean, I think like they should just, because most jobs will pay you like 50, 60K even without a degree.
Yeah.
So if you worked that type of job for 10 years or like 5 to 10 years and you saved up money, you had no debt, and then you decided to go to college and get an education, at that point, like, you're in a way better spot. Also, you're way more mature too.
Yeah, and you can actually afford to pay for it and not take out loans.
Right, dude. Yeah, man. Like, I feel like, yo, we should go to council meeting. We gotta talk to the city council.
Yeah.
Let them know, man. We got
big plans.
We got some good ideas.
Big ideas.
We got good ideas. Yeah, no more BS University, dude.
Yeah. Yeah. Dude, just take me back to the Davy Jones softball days, man.
Let's go.
You were on that team, right?
Yeah.
When we won the championship.
Yeah, that was so fun.
That was awesome, dude.
Have you been playing this year?
No. I didn't want to commit to it, you know, just because I worked most like Wednesday evenings, so it was like I don't want to say that I'm down, but then not like show up for games and stuff. So I was like, I'm gonna go hands off. But I'm supporting on Instagram and in my heart.
I love that, dude.
Are you playing?
Nah, like I was in Florida when the season started.
Oh, right.
Then I came back, and I mean, I guess I could try and reach out to someone, but at this point, I'm
just a little
chilling.
too late. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, how was Florida? What part of Florida were you in?
Panama City Beach.
Shout out for Bama. It's for you, Jeremiah.
Yeah, we call it South Alabama. It's so legit, man. It was a great time.
Yeah.
I was down there for probably a total of 6 months.
Wow.
Worked at a Mexican restaurant.
That's sick.
Yeah, dude. It was my first experience serving. I've never done it before, but
wow.
Yeah, so I did that for a little while. And the beaches are perfect. You can't beat them. People are nice. A lot of good churches down there too, which I was enjoying, like awesome. Being a part of that. And yeah, playing pickup basketball, just getting out, you know, hitting
like outside or indoors mostly.
Probably mostly outdoor. Oh, that actually a split.
Okay.
Did both, yeah.
That's sick.
They have a pretty nice outdoor park, and then they also had you know, several indoor gyms too.
Dang, dude, that's so awesome. Yeah, pickup basketball around here is all right, but some of the guys just get like chippy. It just gets, and then I kind of feed into it, and then it just becomes not fun anymore. So
yeah. Some people eat that up. They love it.
Yeah,
and others are like, no, I don't want to, like, I'm not trying to play like this.
Exactly. I just want to play for fun. But I did play at Damascus Regional recently with some guys, and that was heavenly, dude. That's what it's all about. Just pure hoops. No one's really getting mad. You know, the rim's like not the best, so you know people are missing a lot of shots. So it's just good humble ball.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. Yeah.
Have you been watching the playoffs, dude?
Yeah.
You watched the Knicks last night?
I didn't watch the Knicks game last night.
Oh, dude. I've been rooting for them heavy. Just, I don't know. It'd be funny if they won a championship.
Did they lost to the Pacers?
Yeah, it's 3-1 now.
Yeah. I was watching some of the Timberwolves game the night before.
I've been rooting for them heavy too, man.
Yeah, I know. And it kind of sucks, man, because they really should have won that last game. But I mean, dude, even though you're down 3-1, all these games are so close.
Yeah, I know.
It's like, you know, I mean,
but it's like you can
except for when they beat them by 40-something points.
Yeah.
T-Wolves beat.
But it's like, the T-Wolves did beat them. But it's like, what happened the next game? They lost. So it's like, does that one game really matter that much? Not really. Like, they need to be consistently putting out the effort to win, because the Thunder, they just like the Pacers, they just seem to have, it's either like a talent or a skill or just like a team communication. They just have like an edge, and it's just like those teams are gonna win, and they have been. So I think it is going to be the Thunder and the Pacers, and I think I'm going to root for the Pacers.
Yeah, I'd like to see them win too.
You know, I think it said they've never won one. I think I saw that. So that would be cool.
Yeah, it would be cool. Yeah, Indiana needs some more love.
Yeah, for sure. Halliburton's dope too. I mean, he's so good, and he talks about his faith and God and stuff. So good for them, you know.
That's awesome, man. This day and age, there are so many athletes that like publicly
Yeah,
talk about the Lord,
which is awesome.
and you don't like that was not the case when we
Yeah,
were growing
yeah,
up.
yeah.
I'd never heard like Allen Iverson be like, yeah, you know, I mean, played great out there today, but really, it's because the Lord leads us.
Yeah.
You know, it's like I don't know. I feel like the first person I really heard do that was Tim Tebow.
Yeah. Tebow, I love Tebow.
Yeah, and
He's
now
on the
Tebow is like
Gators.
I just get like these like advertisements on my Instagram, and it's like Tim Tebow being like, "Will you help me? There are 100 million." You know how he like leans in,
Yeah. It's like,
doesn't break eye
look at my
contact.
big forearms. I'm very swole. I'm
Yeah,
Tim Tebow.
like
I was.
Tim, how are you this big? Dude?
Yeah.
Are you really this big?
Yeah. What is he eating? What is he drinking that
what's
makes
your?
him that large?
I think Tim Tebow's 270 pounds.
Dude,
He is huge, dude. He is
At least.
a giant
At
because
least.
he's tall too.
Yeah. He's a big guy.
He's a big dude. I'm like, man. Like I saw him. Bryson DeChambeau is a big dude also, and they did like a workout together. And Tim Tebow was like two of him. Yeah, but you know what, dude? It's great, man. I love Tim Tebow. He's doing the Lord's work. That'd be I'd actually like doing something like that, doing rescue work,
Yeah, okay.
helping people. You know what I'm saying? You ever think about that?
No, that would be awesome. So wait. So
we
when
don't we don't have to talk about it if you don't.
no, I do. So when you say rescue work, what do you mean?
Like rescuing people out of trafficking or something.
Okay.
Yeah, like he sets up these like sting operations and works with different agencies, and they help like kids who've been trapped for years, and a lot of like former Navy SEALs do it too. There's a lot of people who are like either in like government or they partner with government and they rescue these kids. That'd be pretty rewarding.
Oh yeah,
getting them out of that because just a lot of that stuff.
Yeah,
You don't even
awful.
know. I mean, until like you hear the stories, you're like, "Holy crap!" Like I didn't even think that'd be the case.
Yeah, man. There's a lot of disgusting stuff happening in the world. It's very unfortunate.
There was a story of this. I forget her name, or the guy's name, but she like there was 3 girls who they all got abducted around the same time, and they were like 12, 13 years old. And this was in maybe Pennsylvania, but the guy that abducted them for 12 years.
Wow.
They were locked in an attic.
Oh wow.
And they were tied up.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, dude. And then but over time I guess they kind of figured out like what time the guy would leave, and sometimes he'd come back and check on him or whatever. But this one time they went down, and there was a guy walking his dog across the sidewalk, and one of the girls was able to get out, and she was like banging on the door and like, help me, because I guess the dude locked the door from the outside or whatever.
Jeez Louise.
Yeah, dude, for 12 years, and then this came out like probably 10 years ago or something like that.
Okay.
But dude, it was crazy, man, because like the guy was living there, and all the neighbors were like, yeah, he was great.
Yeah.
Awesome dude. Yeah, the guy who rescued the girls was like, yeah, like I was barbecuing with him like a week ago.
Oh my gosh.
So, yeah, I mean, all that to say, I just think, I mean, more people need to do that kind of thing.
Yeah.
You know, to help people out. Because, I mean, you know, I see one of your notes here is faith in God. And I mean, when you're going through that kind of thing, man, that's all you're relying on. And God's going to use somebody to be like, I need you to go and rescue these people.
Yeah, man. Faith works wonders, you know. It's really good in, you know, tough situations. you know, I've definitely been in situations in my life where I just like my anxiety's just gotten the best of me, and it's just like, oh man, I'm freaking out. And I'm just like, God, like help me, like give me your peace, and He always does. You know, it's an awesome thing.
Yeah,
But
man.
what?
Have you dealt with that for like
Yeah, pretty
anxiety
much
related?
my whole life, I've had an anxiety disorder, a generalized anxiety disorder. Um, so I saw like a psychiatrist when I was like 12 or something, and they were like, "Oh yeah, your serotonin levels are off or whatever." So then I was put on like some medications, and that helped, but I just didn't like really feel like my true self. Like I felt like it was doing things to my brain, and it just like after a while I just didn't really like that, you know. So I just kind of weaned off of it and stuff, and you know there were some side effects for sure coming off of those drugs, but I just felt so much better since I don't take those drugs anymore, because I just feel like it's like, yeah, I feel more anxious more of the time, but it's okay because you know God's got me, so it's like it's all good.
Yeah. Yeah, man, dude. I'm surprised that you have any anxiety. I look at your life and I'm like, dude, you're the man.
Appreciate
You
it,
know,
dude. Appreciate
you're
it.
always great vibes, always super chilled out too, which is really helpful. The people that I'm like,
Thanks, man.
they're anxious. I'm like, those are the ones that are just wired up. You know,
Yeah, yeah.
they talk more, they're like really active in certain ways. I'm like, those are the ones I would assume probably would have it.
Right.
So yeah, man, no, I can't see any anxiety on your life. And
Good, man.
yeah,
I'm
so I
glad.
mean, maybe sometimes like when we look at our own lives, we're like, maybe our own perspective of ourselves can be a little tainted at times. But
Yeah, yeah,
yeah, dude,
definitely.
I mean, you look and sound great.
Oh, thanks, brother.
So
Appreciate
yeah,
that. Appreciate that. How long do you think you've had faith in God, or is that kind of like your whole life type thing?
I think I always wanted God.
Okay.
I'll, uh, well, yeah, I think I would say that. I mean, I was young, grew up in the Catholic Church, and well, maybe the better way to put it is I think I always wanted to go to heaven,
Mm-hmm.
and then it transitioned into all right, I think I want God,
Yeah.
and I hope God's real, and if He's real, I want to find Him, and I
Yeah.
decided to start devoting myself to figuring out like, hey,
Yeah.
is this thing
Legit.
real? Yeah,
Yeah.
and I saw enough around me and in my own life where, like, the Scripture says, that the Lord like proved His like existence with many like
Mm-hmm.
invaluable proofs like
Yeah.
over the
Yeah.
course of like 40 days after He was raised from the dead.
Yeah.
And so I think, yeah, man, I saw enough of my life where I was like, this is real, and if it's real, then it demands a response from me,
Right.
and
Yeah.
I'm gonna give myself to this.
That's so sick.
So I think seeds were planted in me when I was Catholic growing up,
Okay.
and didn't want to burn, so
Yeah.
tried not to like have sex or
Mm.
like commit, any kind of like sins where I was like, oh, Lord's definitely not letting me in.
Yeah.
But then when I got older, dude, it was I when I got to college, I had an encounter in 2013,
Okay.
and then that like I would consider my salvation experience in October of 2013. So yeah, I mean, really,
Wow.
and then walking with God, like actively involved in a church, probably last 10 years.
Okay.
So
That's awesome, bro.
how about you, Ben?
Yeah, I've similar story to you. You know, I grew up in the church, not Catholic. It was more like non-denominational, like Cedarbrook. You probably heard of Cedarbrook, but yeah,
Yeah.
I grew up in that church, and it was great. I mean, yeah, no, as a kid, I remember believing in God, like singing songs like "My God is an awesome God," and I remember like just
From
like
heaven above.
yeah, yeah, just
Yeah.
being really stoked on that song and
That
stuff.
song is lit.
Yeah, and I was like dancing to that because we had a sweet children's ministry at Cedarbrook. Shout out Ruben, that guy's awesome.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, it just really spoke to me, and I just loved going there, and I met so many awesome people, and I think, the Bible was definitely being fed to me, but I was like understanding like bits and pieces of it, and VeggieTales helped with that. But yeah, I think it wasn't until after high school. As a kid I was like, yeah, kind of filled with the Spirit, and then once like middle school, high school, it was like you're saying, there was all those sins and stuff, and I was kind of like falling into those sins, and that kind of had my attention, and I still like believed in God, but I just wasn't giving him really much attention at all.
Mm-hmm.
And then it didn't happen till like the end of high school or like early college, when I was like really going through tough things with my friends, like seeing them struggle with like drugs or whatever, and having
Yeah.
struggles in my own life, and just like feeling depressed about things. And then that really caused me to, and it was at Difference Makers, during like worship, and I was just like really like just crying out to God for healing, or just anything, and he really like met me there, and I just like felt his love, and it just made me like cry and stuff. I'm sure you've had moments like that. And yeah, ever since then I've just been like, all right, God's real. Like I've experienced his love. Like there's nobody can be like, no, you didn't experience that. Like I did.
Yeah.
So it's like nobody can tell me otherwise.
You
But
said that was at Difference Makers?
yeah.
We had that? How did you get involved with Difference Makers?
My parents, like my mom, they started going to the church before I did, and then I started going with them sometimes. And I always liked it. I love Pastor Clark. Just good, humble pastor. It's just like one of those churches where it's like there's no BS or anything. It's just like these people love Jesus, and it's just really cool. So I always have a special place in my heart for that church.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, I love you sharing that, and I think it's it's really great that you're honest about it too. Like, yeah, I had an encounter, right? And you're like, no one can talk me out of it.
Yeah.
But dude, I think the more that we get older, the more like we look back at that and we're like, yeah, I'm not ashamed of the gospel.
Yeah.
Right? It's
Yeah.
like, dude, I remember being young and just being like embarrassed about like
Yeah.
loving God or like wanting to follow God.
Yeah.
But the older that I get, I'm like, God's awesome.
Yeah.
And it's because you realize how much people need God. Everyone
Yeah.
needs God. And like,
Exactly.
and also you get like more of maturity when you read the scriptures. Like there's way more in it. And it's not just like this crazy fairy tale mystical book. Like,
Yeah, it's very real. You can relate to a lot of it.
yeah. And it tells a real story that was passed down for generations. And it's just really a compilation of people's experiences with God that God chose to write down in a book, and
Mm-hmm.
it all points to Jesus ultimately.
Yeah, no, it really does.
It's so cool, man. So yeah, I'm glad that you shared that, and yeah, I mean, dude, God is. I mean, I think everyone will get to a point in their life where they're like, okay, I'm either going to turn to God and fully like reorient my life, or I'm going to continue to try in my own strength and
Yeah.
do it.
Yeah.
And there's nothing better than turning it over.
Yeah, because I think most people realize that it's like, oh, okay, my strength is finite. Like, there's only so much of it. Like, yeah, I can be strong, but life can still break me down. And it's like you need something to put you back together.
Yeah. Dude, and the other thing too is this cool if I do it
Oh
like
yeah,
this?
yeah, for sure.
Dude, the other thing too that I've realized is that with people who I think are more resistant to God
Mm-hmm.
and they don't want to hear about God or be around God, those types of people are still desiring, well, I would say desiring to live how they want to live,
Yeah.
but also I think they have a false perspective of God and they think that God is just going to strike down everything that they like to do,
Yeah.
and he's going to like fully like flip over their life and He's going to say, you can't do this, can't do that. I don't want you doing this. I don't want you doing that.
Right.
Where, dude, that's the wrong way to look at it. I would look at it from the perspective of, no, like, God's going to love you first. Like, God actually wants to love you.
Yeah.
He wants you to allow him to love you.
Yeah.
And then when you build up a relationship with God, a history with God, God might say, hey, remember those cigarettes that you bought the other day? You know, are you gonna smoke those? Well, yeah, Lord, I was thinking about it. All right. Well, maybe you just smoke half of them today.
Yeah.
Right? It's like, dude, like the Lord is patient and he'll walk with people, and he's
give
like,
you self-control.
Yeah. Dude. So like, and God's just way more awesome than
people realize
or give him credit. And I think that's where a lot of our problems come from, is our preconceived notions of who God is.
Yeah.
Like, it all starts with, dude, God decided to die on a cross for and it's for guilty people who, you know, he didn't need to do it. He didn't have to go through what he went through. So if you start there, then you can build really healthy theology about God, and, you know, ultimately really want him.
So, dude, I love that. It's well said. Yeah, it's like if you view God more as a loving father, it can really change your perspective, because he loves everything about you. Like, he loves your interests, things that you think wouldn't even be important to him are, and all your relationships are important to him and stuff. So yeah, I definitely agree with what you're saying, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, I noticed you had maybe possibly started a podcast like recently.
What did you see?
I saw a couple episodes, I think, and it was like similar to this, but it was just you. But I think you maybe had a guest or something on a couple of them.
Yeah, you know, dude, I've actually gotten behind the mic a few times.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Tried to have fun with it, and I really would like to do this. I enjoy. I think just talking to people is great. Podcasting, just expressing yourself, like different dumb ideas or great ideas, like whatever it is. Like, man, if you're an intellect and you're really educated and you can give good information, go for it. But if you're not an intellect and you have no good information to give, but you can create good vibes, I don't know, go for it. It's like, it's just, dude, I'm just tired of not expressing like what I want to.
Right.
I think I've gotten to that point where I'm like, man, if I have like an idea or something and I feel like it's, I don't know, like it's something that excites me, I would rather just try and do it for a little while and see if anything can happen with it.
Exactly.
I've kind of shelved the podcast. I haven't really done anything, and I didn't even really get started. I tried to get started with it, but I never got any guests. I had one podcast where I had guests on, and then I tried to like find a co-host because I felt like I'm not capable to do it myself. And I've talked with my buddy, you know, Ernest.
Yeah, he's been on the kids table.
Has he?
Yeah,
dude, he's the man. Yeah, I'd like to do something. Me and him have talked about doing a podcast together.
Dude, that would be sick.
I'd love to do a podcast again. Dude, it'd be so cool to have you on as a repeat guest.
Oh,
and,
yeah,
you know?
I love that. Collaboration is really, really fun thing about it. I've had a lot of guys that like make music and stuff come on and talk about their music, and I love that because it gives them a platform to, you know, get their art out there for people to see and hear, and I just think that's great because there's so many talented people in our area that just don't get a fair shake.
For sure, yeah, and you know, you can like, I've noticed too that it's really, you know, if you can bring people on, interview them, and you learn so much about them. It's sweet. And then, like, you know, as you continue to do it, like, you develop your like your creative art. So there's a lot of like different podcasting formats too. Like the better, I think that's one of the things I really appreciate about you doing this. Like when you told me you were going to start a podcast, I was like, dude, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Go for it. That's so,
Yeah.
so cool. And if you go for it, the more you do it, the better you get.
Exactly.
The more you learn, like, okay, I think it would be cool to like shoot the program this way, or maybe we'll have like a little segment, we'll do this,
Yeah.
or, you know, even some of these like podcasts that are really just almost like I think, I mean, this is a dumb example, but I've seen some of their videos pop up. It's called the Whatever Podcast.
Oh, I've heard of that.
Have you
for
heard of
sure.
that? Yeah, and it's like one guy who's running the. I don't even know anything about it, but from what I see, there's a guy who's up there. He's older. He's asking questions to a bunch of Gen Zers, and they're young. And I mean, making some questionable choices and stuff, but he's like getting their opinions, and then like it kind of turns into more of like an open dialogue slash sort of like debate podcast, and I think that's interesting. Like that's a pretty, it's a good format to really gauge and create entertainment and engagement.
Yeah, no, you're right. Like I used to watch a lot of Ben Shapiro debates where he would go to like a college campus and students would just line up to ask him questions and they would have like a good back and forth. So yeah, no, that debates are definitely very interesting. I think I just get scared of doing them because of politics and people's different opinions and stuff.
Yeah,
it can get like ugly sometimes, and people can take personal attacks and stuff. And I hate it when it gets to that level. But if you keep it, in a respectful realm, then it can definitely be awesome.
I know. I actually feel like I like conflict.
Yeah, I do too. I know what you mean.
But I think I'm too uneducated. Like I'm too unqualified to get involved in it.
Yeah, no.
I'm like I like a little back and forth. I like the debate. But I'm also like, PJ, you've done zero work to deserve this opportunity to debate someone or to create a little bit of a conflict. And it's always like it's never with bad intention or anything.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like, hey, if I could persuade this person to kind of see this from a different angle, that's a pretty intoxicating feeling. Yeah.
I definitely get that. Yeah, how do you think Washington football team is going to do this next season?
I think they're going to win over 10 games.
Okay.
And I think Jaden Daniels is going to have another great season.
Me too.
He put on more weight, and I think he's
he put on some muscle. Looks like
put on a little something, huh?
Do you see the SpongeBob meme where it's like when he had the inflatable arm, that episode where and he's wearing the beanie because he's wearing a beanie.
Yeah, and he has like the anchor tattoo on it.
I love that.
I think Jaden's gonna have another great season. I think Debo's gonna ball. I feel good about him. I think Terry's gonna have another great season.
Oh yeah.
I think Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt is also a sleeper.
Wait, who?
Our 7th round draft pick.
Oh,
he's the running back.
Oh, okay, I wasn't even hip.
Dude, so we drafted. Do you know about the draft picks?
I knew about the first 2. I didn't know about the later one. Or how many total did we have?
We had 5 total.
5 total. Yeah, I only knew about the first 2.
So yep.
Not good of a fan of me, but who did we get?
So Josh Connerly was the first one.
Remember him.
Second one was Trey Amos.
Yep.
The third pick was Jalen Lane.
Okay.
Or I can't remember if it was Kane Madrano, but Kane Madrano was the other guy, and then the last guy was Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt.
Okay, running back.
Yeah,
that's what we need.
Ja'Cory's running back, and then Jalen Lane is a 4-3 wide receiver from Virginia Tech.
Oh, okay.
And then you have Kane Madrano, who's inside. He might be, I guess he's more of an outside linebacker, but he's like 225, 230, but he gets to the quarterback well. He can move.
There we go.
And he's very much like an athletic backer.
Okay. That's good.
So I feel, and then about the first 2, right? So I think those rookies are going to get a good bit of playing time.
Really?
And yeah, man. So I'm hoping those guys step up, have a good season, and then the guys that were there, the rookies last season,
Yeah,
that we didn't really hear much
yeah.
about. Like, I want to see Dominique Hampton get some action.
Okay.
Hopefully, he was the Washington safety, and then who was Jordan McGee from
McGee.
Temple,
Yeah.
linebacker. I want to see him.
I
And
want to see Frankie Louvu. We still have Louvu, right?
yeah,
Okay. I want to see him keep that same aggressive energy because he would scare some of the teams. I feel like just his presence was like, watch out for Louvu. He was knocking heads.
yeah. It's those Hawaiians, man.
Yeah, dude.
Those guys
They
are
don't play.
cut from a different cloth.
Yeah, like the wide receiver on the Rams, Nakua.
Yeah,
He's been my go-to fantasy wide receiver.
dude. Did you draft him his rookie year?
I picked him up off the waivers.
Whoa.
Yeah, I was on it, dude, for that one.
Yeah, I mean, I feel so good when you do it like that.
Yeah.
I think I drafted him, and
Well, that's
yeah,
even better.
he turned out to be a stud, as we all
he's-
know.
He's an exciting receiver. But yeah, I think I was predicting that we get like 10 wins, but I think more than 10 because what we got. How many wins did we get last season? 13?
Yeah, maybe with
12?
I think. Yeah, I think we finished the season with. Were we 11-6? I mean, maybe we were 12-5, and then we won 2 playoff games, right?
Yeah.
So 14.
Yeah, 14.
We won 14
Wow.
games. Is that right?
Yeah, that sounds right. So yeah, I think we'll get at least 10 wins. So many haters are like, but if Jaden Daniels gets hurt, then da, 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 da. And it's like that is a reality, but I'm just praying that it doesn't happen.
It's the same thing with anyone who
Yeah,
says
anybody
that. Like,
could get hurt.
why don't they say it about like Buffalo? Like, oh, if
Yeah.
Josh Allen gets hurt, it's like,
Yeah,
and then they never say that. They don't say it if Lamar gets hurt, but it's like the same thing. If Lamar gets hurt, yeah, Ravens are on the same team.
yeah,
I think, man, like, yeah, Washington in their full strength is definitely a 10-win ball club without a doubt. Probably another 12-win ball club, really.
Honestly.
Dude, Dan Quinn is, and also, dude, Cliff Kingsbury is good. As good of
love him.
He was a great OC last year, and now he's got more weapons. So you're going to
Yeah.
say that he's not going to be able to
Yeah.
perform like he did last year?
Yeah, no, he was
Or even
firing
better?
on all cylinders. Love me some
Yeah.
Cliff.
Oh yeah, man, it's gonna be a great season.
Whew.
I can't wait to go to the games.
Whew.
Yeah,
dude.
it's gonna be a lot of fun, dude.
I think the Eagles are still gonna give us a hard time, but that's really the only team I'm worried about. And the whole league, honestly, is just the Eagles.
Yeah,
But I feel like aren't they gonna lose at least one veteran this season? Or they still have Swift and all those guys still?
yeah.
And
Well,
Brown.
I think they lost. They lost a who was their stud cornerback?
Oh, yeah. I know what you're saying. I can't.
He was the talker.
Dang. Yeah. Why can't I remember his name? I know exactly. who
It's like
you're talking
CJ
about.
something.
Something like that. I want to say like Springs, but it's not Springs.
Gardner Webb. They lost Gardner Webb or
Okay.
Gardner.
Yeah. CJ.
Something
like that.
Yeah.
So that'll be good for us.
Yeah. And dude, here's the other thing, man. We play Philly twice a year, every year.
Yeah.
So we know Philly.
We beat them once.
We beat them once, and we didn't play very well the second game.
Yeah.
Right. So I think. Sorry, we didn't play well in the NFC Championship.
Right. Yeah.
We could have played better.
Definitely could have played better.
And yeah, I mean, so I think Dan Quinn, I think Cliff Kingsbury, and I forget who the DC is, Joe Witt. I think they're even better this year as coaches.
They're set up well.
They're set up well, and it'll be fun to watch. Maybe we'll split 1-1 and then beat them again in the championship this year, or for the first time this year in the championship.
Yeah.
It'd be great, dude. I'd love it.
Only thing that we got to worry about is the Giants with Jackson Dart now.
Oh, dude, man.
I don't know.
You think he's a threat?
They got a little bit of spunk now.
Think the boy's a threat? Jackson Dart I think he actually could turn into a pretty good quarterback.
I think he could.
He throws a good deep ball, and he's got some Heineke in him. Like he's a baller for sure.
Yeah.
He's got like a baller spirit to him,
Yeah.
and it depends, man. It really depends on because you can just you never know who's going to translate well to the NFL, no matter how good they were.
Right.
Like we would have said Johnny Manziel was like
Matt Leinart, all those guys.
Johnny Manziel was like one of the greatest ballers that we had ever seen. Just like a kid that was undersized, fast but not like Lamar Jackson fast or RG3 fast. And
he would just make great plays.
He was just a baller, made great plays all the time. And then you would have thought like he's going to keep balling out in the NFL, so much so that the Browns drafted him in the first round. But, even if he didn't have a drug problem, I still don't think he would have panned out.
He wasn't quite built for it. I love Johnny Manziel though.
I got respect for him for sure. Yeah, he was a lot of fun to watch.
It was disappointing to see him fizzle out on the Browns and stuff, but it goes to show that like to be a quarterback in the NFL, you have to be like elite. Even though like the backup quarterbacks in the NFL are very good.
Yeah.
So
there's like a certain mentality too that you have to have, and
it's just like get back up, keep going mentality.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, dude. I mean, I hope I'm wrong. I mean, if Manziel, like maybe if he was off the drugs, he would have made it for sure. Like that'd be really cool to see. I don't know, like I feel like just kind of what you saw in him, as like the way he carried himself. Just I don't know, like just there's certain like intangible qualities where you're like.
You got to handle your money and your fame well too.
Yeah,
because you're going to get paid a lot to be in the NFL, and that can be distracting,
And it's weird how that works too, because the same kind of thing happened with RG3, where I think like I don't think he was able to handle the fame that well.
Yeah,
unfortunately, and I think he liked a lot of the status, and I don't know. I mean, he definitely humbled himself after his career was over, or really after like all the RG3 hype. But I remember when he tore his ACL, he was making he invested in a full-length documentary like that off season about his recovery. And while you can do whatever you want, also you have to think about your team and like what are your teammates going to think about like you, like, oh, he's like doing this for like, why isn't he just focusing on himself? Why does he have to have like a documentary? And it just seems like it's more of a distraction than it's like
it's
guiding,
not helping anything.
Yeah, so it's hard to say, man. But ultimately, dude, I mean, I think Jackson Dart, man. I think there's a lot of things I've seen him where I'm like, this dude could for sure have a good, long, strong career in the NFL.
And I think since the Giants have had such a crappy past couple of seasons, I think it might be their time to bounce back a little bit.
That's a good point, because when you
we were 4 and whatever, and then last season we were 14 and whatever, so it's like it can really change season to season.
It's kind of cool actually, like being a drafted quarterback going to a team where all the quarterbacks before you were horrendous.
Yeah, because there's no pressure really.
Yeah, it's like they've already stunk.
And if you do great, then people are gonna worship you.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, it's kind of hard like following Tom Brady, right, or like Aaron Rodgers, but I mean,
poor Drake May.
Yeah, yeah, exactly, right. So it's like there's all this pressure, but I think. Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things of, I think if you have, like if you're, following up Daniel Jones.
You probably, Danny Dimes.
Right?
Old substitute teacher.
Wait, who is this?
No, they used to say that there was like a meme that like Daniel Jones looks like your substitute teacher in math class or something.
Oh, yeah.
Because he was wearing just like a plain button-up shirt to the game or something. He has like no swag or anything.
Yeah.
But I respect him. He gave it his best, but I think at the end of the day, he just wasn't quite there skill wise.
Yeah. But he made some plays.
He was determined.
He could run the ball.
Yeah. He wasn't horrible. He wasn't like bad.
Dude, last season he trucked I want to say like it was like Lou. It was maybe it was Wagner. Like
Really?
he ran right through him. It was crazy.
I think I remember that.
it was a
Yeah.
nasty touchdown run.
Yeah. I remember that. That was pretty funny to watch.
I was like, damn. Like, yeah, it was like brick. It was like Josh Allen. It was insane.
I didn't know he had that in him.
Yeah, I was like, Daniel Jones.
This guy. Oh man.
Yeah, dude. Or maybe like a better example is who's the other Tommy DeVito.
I loved him,
if
dude.
you're following Tommy DeVito, yeah, dude,
He was awesome.
you won't be nervous, man. No disrespect there, but dude, like you're not following a future Hall of Famer. You can just you can step in and you can have a clear conscience and get to work.
Yeah, just have a chill life in New Jersey, But yeah, no, I have a couple friends that are Giants fans, and I get a kick out of them. Because I mean, the Giants won Super Bowl, so it's like you can't really talk that much trash.
Yeah.
To them, but just lately, it's been Washington has been the team.
Yeah,
which is nice. We've waited some time. Like you said, RG3, got us to the playoffs, but snapped his leg and
dude,
was all she
I
wrote.
can still see that image in my head. It's like it's so ugly.
And so many times when Jaden's running to the sideline, I'm like, just get out of bounds. Like, don't get hit. And he got rocked a couple times in the playoffs, but he got right back up.
Mm-hmm.
He had that badass cut on his cheek.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
I was loving that.
Yeah, that was like one of those like Photoshop sweet moments, dude. Yeah,
it's like
capture something awesome. Yeah,
that's all him.
It's like Trump just fight. Yeah, but yeah, dude. I think a lot of those players now ideally are being taught like how to avoid like the big hits, how to avoid,
which is smart.
Like learn more about body awareness so that you don't put yourself in those situations.
Yeah,
because back in the day, dude, man, like they just get
ragdolled,
dude. Yeah, who's the guy who's on Terry Bradshaw?
Yeah,
like if you're playing like back in Bradshaw's day. Dude, the things that they just get hit every single play, and like they didn't know like they could even probably avoid contact. Like, they just always like we're like, I can't be a little B,
Yeah, gotta eat my sack.
Yeah, I gotta earn this money. So yeah, hit me, boy.
Shut up and eat your football.
Yeah, dude. But yeah, I think they're gonna have a good season. I think they're gonna. I think the total trajectory of the franchise has changed, and they are a winning ball club, and they'll continue to win.
Beautiful. It's beautiful. I love having Josh Harris and Magic Johnson at the top, pulling the strings. Sometimes I think I'm like, what is Dan Snyder even up to these days? Like, is he just like on an island somewhere, just like trying to avoid the Commanders, or do you think he's like watching like? Like they think they're so great without me.
Yeah,
but they are.
I don't know what he would be up to, dude. I almost feel like I just like grew out a beard and like wants to be like. I think he's
a hermit now.
Yeah, dude. He asked Tanya, he's like, Tanya, will you leave me if I grow a beard? And I just try to like hide my image from the face of the earth. And then she's like, you know what? No, I'll stay with you. We have $6 billion now. That's fine.
Yeah.
So he just grows out a David Letterman beard. And, just like maybe just dresses in he doesn't dress in the suits anymore. Those days are long gone. He's not doing suits.
Yeah.
He's
wearing those like hippie pants that are like real airy. And he's just popping Fig Newtons all day, watching Price is Right.
Yeah, wait, the linen pants.
Yeah, the linen pants.
Made out of like Egyptian cotton.
Exactly.
Nice elastic waistband.
Yeah, no, I saw a guy skateboarding wearing those recently. I was like,
they're sweet,
those
bro.
are awesome.
Yeah, they do have a lot of air in the legs. There's a lot of space in the legs.
And sometimes when he was riding, it looked like he was just gonna like take off.
Yeah. It's like hot air balloon
Yeah,
pants.
exactly. But my last question for you, it's a tough one. Um, when you go to Jimmy Cone, what's your go-to order?
Dude, all right. I don't even know what's on Jimmy Cohn's menu, but I'll tell you what I'm gonna get. I don't know what it's called, but I'm going in there and I gotta go chocolate
Okay,
with
okay.
rainbow sprinkles on it probably.
Oh yeah, Rainbow Jimmy's all
Yeah,
day.
I'll do rainbow Jimmy's, chocolate swirl, and
Regular
yeah,
cone,
give me the,
waffle cone,
give
cup.
me no, I like waffle cones for sure.
Okay, yeah,
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 yeah. I actually just took a bite in my mental as you
yeah, yeah.
mentioned
Yeah.
waffle cone.
Oof.
What are you getting?
I'm not lactose intolerant, but I have IBS, so if I can't really eat ice cream, it gives me troubles. So, but fortunately, they came out with a non-dairy flavor. So every couple weeks they get a different non-dairy almond milk based ice cream, which is great. I love it because I can still have Jimmy Cone. When I was a kid, I would just eat the ice cream and just deal with the stomach issues, but I'm too old for that now. But I think the best almond berry flavor that they make is called Huckleberry. It's like a
I've heard
pink.
of this.
It's like pink, dude. It's so good. I get that with Rainbow Jimmy's just on the regular cake cone. Get like a small. So medium. Their mediums are kind of big. Like I can't. It takes a lot to take down a medium, in my opinion. Because if you get a large, it's like this tall.
What, dude? 30 inches?
It's realistically it's like that tall, which is from top of the cone to top of the ice cream. It's
So
like
they serve it up.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, dude. Jimmy Cone, love Jimmy Cone. Their prices are still pretty low. Like
Mm.
you can't get ice cream like that anywhere. Like we have a Brewster's right up the road, and that's awesome. But dude, it's $6 for one scoop. Like that's crazy.
Yeah, I still care about saving like $2
Oh, for
at this
sure.
point in my life.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
have to.
I'll get there someday where I don't really care.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, to your point, I'm like, dude, I go to Cold Stone and get a great $10
Oh
ice
yeah.
cream, but I could also go to Jimmy Cone and
You spend like $3.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And you get the experience of you got the pavilion or whatever it is.
There might be a plaque of Bonnie Bezeski
Yeah,
on the wall
yeah.
in there somewhere.
Dude, shout out her. I remember
Shout out Bonnie.
I played rec soccer in like first grade, and I think she was on that team.
For sure, yeah.
With Mr.
Playing with the boys?
Oh yeah. Well, it was co-ed. It was co-ed. So there was a couple other
She
girls.
made it co-ed.
She
talked to the league administrator and was like, listen,
yeah.
you better make this co-ed. I got something the boys need to see.
Shout out Coach Dane. He was a real one.
Yeah.
Dude, honestly, Damascus rec soccer, that's my top 5. That's probably my number 1. That was the best. Waking up Saturday morning, fresh cut grass, stopping at McDonald's,
Yeah,
getting
that
a
was
hash
nice.
brown before the game, pulling up to regional, and playing soccer, dude. That take me back.
All the parents that were there, lawn chairs set up. Yeah. Beautiful Saturday. I'm with you on that.
Dude, oh man.
All the different paths in regional too, like all the split fields and stuff.
Yeah. It was like when I first started playing in like kindergarten, it was down at the field that's like down. You have to like go back and then it's like down. And then in high school, you get up to the top of the hill. And that hill was kind of treacherous, dude.
Yeah.
If you fell down that hill, you'd get messed up.
Yeah.
Or the ball would roll all the way down. You'd have to go get it and stuff. But dude,
I remember that.
Oh,
I didn't play long enough where I got on the top field. I was always on the down one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dude, you should have played for Grandpa's Little Wart for Sam's team.
Yeah, I know.
In high school, dude.
They didn't want me, dude.
Oh man.
Like,
my team wanted you. My team was trash, dude.
And you know what, dude? Even if they offered it, I probably would have been like, "Is Ben Hanley gonna play on this team?" No, all right, I'm not interested.
Yeah, no, he didn't play the soccer, unfortunately.
Oh wait, Grandpa's Little Warriors was for soccer too.
They yeah, for at least one season they played the rec soccer.
Dude,
It
I
was
was
pretty
thinking
funny.
basketball.
Well, yeah, that's what they were known for, was their rec basketball team.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, they played at least one season, because I remember it was all these football players like C. Frage and like
Nick Pugh.
yeah, Nick Pugh, Trevor Kidwell. They were on the soccer field, and I was like, dang, this is my sport. Like, why
Yeah.
are all these jocks here?
That's what I do.
But some of them are pretty good. Like their speed translated from football to soccer.
Totally.
And if they could just keep the ball near their feet and they could just blast it, I'd be like, damn.
You played high school soccer.
Yeah,
right?
I played one.
That was your main sport?
Yeah, and volleyball. Played some volleyball with Hap Allison.
That's fun. I kind of wish I did that.
Yeah, you should have, man. Boys volleyball was not serious whatsoever. Like, anybody can just stroll onto that team. It was a blast though. We sucked, but it was super fun.
Yeah, dude, that for sure sounds fun. Think about playing volleyball. Me just having no volleyball experience at all.
Oh,
no,
yeah.
no competitive volleyball experience, but just being like, guys, I was a high school volleyball player.
Yeah,
Show
yeah.
some respect.
No, I pull that card all the time.
Yeah, yeah, high school
I
athlete.
played 2 years
What'd
in
you
high
do?
school. So.
Volleyball.
Yeah.
Volleyball, and
I was at the net.
Yeah.
Me and Herc.
Could you show up in some like Reebok pumps?
Oh, dude, you could wear whatever. You could wear thong sandals to a game, and no one would say anything.
Hap is like, good choice.
Yeah. No, I was wearing like skate shoes, and like I eventually got like a pair of Asics that were more volleyball style, but it didn't help. But no, that was a blast.
Wear some Osiris's.
Yeah, definitely. Dude, I'm glad you remember Osiris.
For sure, dude.
Great skate brand. I actually have a pair of Osiris's in my closet right now. D3s.
Classic,
big
man.
chunky shoe.
Classic skate shoe.
Yeah, man. But bro, I just want to thank you so much for coming on, man.
Yeah, dude. Thanks
Love
for
you,
having
bro.
me, man.
We got to do this again for sure.
Yeah.
We'll paint our faces next time.
Let's do it, bro. We're gonna paint them.
Yeah, we're gonna paint them. So thanks for tuning in.
All right, bet.